Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Russ Shaw. Welcome, vinyl community, CD community. Doing something a little different today as I'm standing up. I have to stand up for this one. Show off a little of the kind of the stuff going on in the background here. Got the Giz record, the Bob Marley with the thing, the two Monoskin back in this area. Got a treat for you. So there's a thread that's been going around the VC, started by JC, Lost Classics of the 90s. Now this is a band you may think you've heard the name of, but there's another popular band with the same name. So this is Royal Blood from 1991. Yes, there is a Royal Blood that you've probably heard of, which is a rock band, which I like. I enjoy their music, but this is not them. This is something else. This is their debut album, the American Royal Blood, that is. That originally came out in 1991, but the brilliant virtuoso guitarist came from Europe. More like the Italiano part. This CD was released in 2011, but yeah, came out in 1991. So Royal Blood, I've talked about this a little bit in another video. The name of the album is Thanks Seattle for Killing My Band and My Dreams. It's right there. I'm not even joking. That's the name of the album. And it is a killer little metal album. But I think that's it. Like it's very, has kind of an early 80s sound, which is fine with me. I love that kind of music. So when I found this, you know, later in life, like this didn't hit my ear holes until, you know, the 2011, 2012. I'm like, who is this? This is amazing. The original Royal Blood from LA, I think, is around where they're from. But the guitarist on this, guitar virtuoso, Alex Masi. This is the guy right here. So he was nominated for a Grammy in 1989 for Best Instrumental Rock Album. And the opening track, Under Fire, was the one that he was nominated for. Just amazing piece of music right here. I first found this on the streaming sites, right? I'm like, this isn't Royal Blood, but this is this is early, before the guys from England, the UK, or Europe used the name Royal Blood. And I love that band. I do love that band. This band, amazing. Alex, the superior guitarist on this CD. Funny how I've been talking about Italian rock and rollers lately. Doing some research about the band, I found a website called SleazeRoxx, which is kind of some of the only information I could find about this band. It talked about the history of the band and a review. It sounded like because of Alex Masi's, Grammy nomination in '89, they were sort of waiting around for the right album deal to sign with. They had numerous opportunities to sign with a major label on this and turned it down. And then the Seattle grunge scene happened, right? And then music changed. And by 91, which is when this was recorded, it had, it wasn't the same. Like, this has elements of the classic kind of 80s rock era in it, which is great, and I love that about the album. And it's a great album for that reason. And I don't, the title, and this is something one of the reviewers said too. He wasn't excited about the title because I don't think it was Seattle that killed heavy metal or this genre of metal. It was more these, the radio stations and the record companies and basically the machine at the time. If there's anything good about streaming today, is that popular music has gotten mixed up in a way where it can't be contorted and stripped down, messed with by major corporations. And basically what these corporations did, because they're lazy, is they just, you gotta have the hair and the pretty boy looks, and you can throw a ballad in there and play some cool licks, get a guy with a guitar. We'll just sign anybody that sounds like that. And so there was a lot of garbage that got signed. And then when Seattle came along, and Nirvana and Soundgarden and Mudhoney and these bands came along, this was a new, fresh, punk metal hybrid that people were like, oh, well, that's original. That's new. Let's, this is kind of down the road. So again, I don't, this is my town. Maybe I'm being a little defensive here, but I do like this music, and I enjoy the art, I mean, established bands like Megadeth made some great freaking albums in the 90s. That didn't, I mean, sure, they were established first. Metallica, right? The Black Album came out in 1990. This is 91. That was popular music. And that was Metallica's most popular album. When I saw Metallica, it was at the Moore Theater in their third album, when you would think, oh, they were probably selling out stadiums at that time. Like, people sometimes think I'm lying when I say I saw them at the Moore Theater, in 85 or whatever, on their third album. Like, no, this wasn't popular music back then, because that classic metal sound hadn't caught on yet. And by the time it caught on, the wave was going out when something like this came along. But this is a really killer classic, and that's why I call it a classic, because this would have charted. I mean, and it's sort of a demo, so this album has like 16 tracks on it. I think it would have been stripped down to maybe 12 or maybe 10, and it does have a bit of a demo sound to it, but it's still really good. I mean, if they did put the production stuff around the Black Album into this, like, oh my goodness, this is maybe some killer stuff. Again, when I heard this record, I'm like, where was this when I was, in 91? Like, I would have gladly devoured this record. Now, Alex Masi has a YouTube channel, and he's posting some of these older videos, and it's pretty cool. So, and this seems to be like just in this last year, like 2023, that he started posting some of these videos. And I'll leave a link to his channel, and give him a sub, man. Check out his channel. Some pretty cool stuff in there. He's like classic. I think of Randy Rhoads a little bit when I talk about this guy, because he's got a very classic feel to him. He covers like Bach. And lead vocals, a great metal sound. There's that bass that's just right behind their driving. Killer drums. Just amazing. A classic, to be sure. So I wanted to throw that in there with all the thread that's going around on this. This is a cool album. I finally reached out and hunted down on eBay. My wife and I, thank you to my wife for helping me find this. And we ordered it, and it came here pretty quick. So 5 stars for the seller of this this beautiful classic metal album on FNA Records is the label on this. Yeah, 2000. I finally reached this state in 2011, at least for me. So here it is. Thanks for watching. You know what to do. You probably don't, but I'll just throw it out there. Hey, have a great one. Here you go. This is Royal Blood, the original 1991 Royal Blood.
There's no way that you can stop it, it's got a mind of its own. Some people call it wicked and all this explicit by the way that I let it roam. Don't knock it till you try it, you can move it, you can slide it, you'll feel it deep inside. It's a special kind of feeling, it makes you hit the ceiling like a roller coaster ride. It's a groove thing, it's a groove thing. Well, it's a groove thing, oh, it's a groove thing. When I wake up in the morning, there's a feeling, it's a warning, better get right to it soon. I'm a man with a mission, ain't got time for indecision, so step aside and make some room. It's a mover, it's a shaker, it's a grip, a scale breaker, it's a leader of the pack. Like a weed, it keeps on going, you can pull it, you can mow it, but it keeps on coming back. It's a groove thing, it's a groove thing, oh, it's a groove thing, it's my groove thing. Naturally, I'm sorry.